Tyra Banks scores awesome $4.7 million Malibu beach house. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to Millionaire Hideouts and click that notification bell so you don't miss a video. Tyra Banks is a model, television personality, actress, producer, writer, and businesswoman born in California on December 4, 1973. She began her career in 1991 and has since become successful in many fields. She began modeling when she was just 15, and she became the first woman of African American descent to feature on the covers of Sports Illustrated Swimsuit issue and GQ, says Wikipedia. Banks became one of the world's top-earning models and spent 8 years as a Victoria's Secret model. Since the early 1990s, she has also been an actress, and her first acting role was in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Some of her films include Coyote Ugly, Life-Size, Halloween, Resurrection, and Love and Basketball. Banks has also appeared in the television series Glee and Gossip Girl. Tyra Banks created the reality series America's Next Top Model, which she has presented for nearly all the series since it began in 2003. She also created True Beauty and The Tyra Banks Show. Most recently, she became the new host of Dancing with the Stars in 2020. In addition to her modeling and television work, Tyra Banks has also written a book and has a cosmetics brand called Tyra Beauty. All these endeavors have contributed to her wealth, and Celebrity Net Worth now estimates that Tyra Banks' net worth is $90 million. One way that she spends her wealth is on real estate, and she has even bought a couple of fixer-uppers to add to her portfolio. Her most recent purchase is a fixer-upper in Malibu, for which she has paid $4.72 million. An overview of Tyra Banks' new Malibu home. Tyra Banks has recently bought an oceanfront property in Malibu, California. It measures 4,089 square feet and boasts 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. It is a postmodern contemporary property that was built in 1982. Although she has paid $4.72 million for the oceanfront property, she will need to spend significantly more to bring it up to date, as the decor throughout the property is dated and needs a facelift. Inside the oceanfront pad, there is plenty of space, both in terms of living areas and accommodation for Banks to have guests stay over if she wishes. The living room has a wooden floor, and the furniture is arranged around a fireplace to give the room a cozy look. There are double glass doors that lead out onto the deck that overhangs the water, where Banks can sit and enjoy the sunset and ocean views in her free time. Next to the living room is the kitchen. Although the kitchen is spacious, it is one of the most dated rooms on the property, and it is possibly where Banks will want to start with the renovations. It has plain oak cabinetry that is typical of the style of the 1980s and tan-colored tile countertops. Despite the dated look, the kitchen is spacious and benefits from a huge island that offers additional storage and workspace. Banks' new Malibu home has 2 dining areas. An informal dining space is connected to the kitchen. Beyond the informal dining area is a formal dining room, from where Banks and her guests can enjoy views across the ocean as they dine. The second story of the property houses 4 bedrooms, including the primary suite. Banks can enjoy the heat from the fireplace on cooler evenings or open the glass doors that lead out to a terrace on warmer evenings. The suite boasts a light and airy walk-in closet with a skylight, and there is also a master ensuite. However, the bathroom will probably come close to the top of Banks' renovation list, as it features the same tired cabinetry and tiles as the kitchen. The outdoor space at the Malibu pad. Banks' property is surrounded by a wall, and there is a gated entranceway that leads through to a tiled courtyard. The tiled courtyard then leads through to a double-height atrium that is surrounded by clerestory windows and topped with a huge skylight that bathes the space in light. Although the house does not have a garden to the rear, there are decks and balconies from the property. Therefore, Banks can sit outside enjoying the Californian sunshine and views across the Pacific Ocean. At the front of the house, there is enough parking for 5 cars, which is a bonus as it is often tricky to find a decent parking spot in Malibu. To the rear, the property sits on the oceanfront right next to the sand, so Tyra Banks has direct access to Malibu Beach. She can also enjoy sitting out on the deck leading from the living room or the terrace that is accessed via the primary suite. Tyra Banks' other properties. Her new Malibu house is not the only fixer-upper that Tyra Banks has bought. She had a dated 3-bedroom house in Pacific Palisades that she bought for $3.06 million in 2019. Banks intended to convert it into a farmhouse-inspired cottage. However, she never lived in the house and did not follow through with her renovation plans. Instead, she listed the property, and it recently sold for $3.253 million. Banks also has several other properties in California, says Dirt.com. One of her Californian residences is a $7 million house that is also in Pacific Palisades. Additionally, she owns a smaller property in Ladera Heights, Los Angeles, that she paid $1.3 million for in 2007. Furthermore, Banks also has a duplex condo in the Battery Park neighborhood of New York City. She paid just over $10.13 million for the 7,000-square-foot apartment in 2007. In 2017, she briefly put the duplex on the market for $17.5 million but removed it after it did not sell. Therefore, she has options of where she can spend the night on both sides of the United States.